Yo, what is going on, my fellow weebs? Chrono here, and welcome back to the channel. So, another headline has completed, meaning we're going to go ahead and have another update video for you guys, going over everything you need to know for the headline from start to finish. This headline had quite a few things in it. Some good, some, a little sad. And I'll be honest, for me personally, it was a pretty mid headline for most of the headline. There's one thing that's going to save it, and I really can't even attribute it to this headline. Part of me wants to say that it's like not really all that interesting, but I'll let you decide that on your own. Either way, if you're new to the channel, appreciate a like on the video if you enjoy it. So if you want to keep up with more, and let's go ahead and get started with our coverage for today. So the headline, we didn't really expect a whole lot. The big thing here was going to be the relay quest. I was curious to see what was going on with those. So if we want to pop over to the first slide, we expected this pretty standard. We have first things first is the limited time event, spring 2025. See, Andy's got a pretty dope outfit and he's got, some camos. We have the spring 2025 special scratch coming back, of course. We have the Rappies, of course, the usual fanfare when it comes to events and things of that sort. Likely we already know what the weapon's going to be in there, the armor, all of the great stuff, of course, star gems, as well as scratch tickets. They mentioned specifically that the silver Big Bang scratch tickets are going to be in there as well. So keep an eye out for those. And then of course the end master cubes. So make sure you go ahead and grab those if you don't have all of your add-on skills sorted out completely. Moving on past that, we have the Flurry of Flowers Cleanup Op 25. This is a rehash of a previous seasonal event with just updated enemies, updated monsters, so on and so forth. Pretty much the same stuff. Nothing too crazy here. These aren't really ever supposed to be all that. I personally see these things as being that popular, that interesting. It's mostly about being a vehicle to deliver drops to players who absolutely need them. This is usually like really, really good catch-up stuff. And then of course there's the treasure scratch tickets for doing the seasonal quest enough time. So you want to go ahead and grab those since that is also included. And they mentioned again in the treasure scratch them being the Big Bang silver tickets. So pretty dope stuff there. We have our first AC scratch of this set. It is the Punk Rock Pulse, and I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Type 1 kind of got shafted in my opinion. If you like leather jackets, this is your jam. This is cool, but like if you look at these three outfits, one of them was not made with the same love and care as the other two. Usually that's the case for Type 1, but like, man, if we could have got something similar to this, but for Type 1, I would have been really happy. But unfortunately, Type 2 got the jacket. That's pretty cool. Type 1 has the jacket as well, but we got a turtleneck and some pants and a leather jacket. So it is what it is. Fun fact, this camo, also a rifle. I don't know what to tell you about that, man. Don't know what to say. We also have the limited time relay quest. Now this is interesting. They wanted a quest that was an LTQ, but it changed more often. So this changes every 2 days. The rewards from these are actually really, really good. So for people that always complain that the rewards are really terrible and quests and things of that sort, you get the mission badge C's. So if you don't have your augments, you don't have this taken care of, or you want to just make some money on the side, it's gonna be a ton of money because these aren't worth very much. And honestly, the augments that are going to be in here are going to drop in price even more now because people are going to be selling them, seeing as they haven't had to switch armor for a very long time. A lot of people don't really need these augments, as well as the 12-star 12 series is here as well. So you have a chance of getting those for drops while you're doing these quests. Essentially, it's going to be something that changes every 2 days. There's going to be a lot of different types of quests that you can do in the mix here. So interesting. It looked like it was 8-mans from what I could see here. And like they mentioned, is going to be changing every 2 days. So you've got things like, run around Central City and throw stuff. It looked like you saw them here and here. There's board races apparently. There's boss fights. There's huge enemy fights. There's photon blast buffs, things of that sort. So we'll see how that works out. This is like cautiously optimistic. As far as the drops go, the rewards again pretty solid. The quest itself looked like it was going to be okay, but I'm really against this whole mindset of changing every 2 days. I need them to start embracing the change every run. Because it keeps things fresh, keeps things interesting, and less boring in my opinion. We have the SG support scratch coming back around. We kind of expected this to come back around. It was in the line of the next thing. The next thing we should be seeing is the AC support scratch, possibly the Anadis roll back around. But unfortunately, they did not come back around this time. Funny enough, in the scratch count bonus, there is High Steer Domina S. For anyone running a Bandak, this is mostly useless. We just replaced High Steer Domina. So unless they bring back that 8th slot anytime soon, it isn't really useful. And then you're thinking to yourself, well, hey, if they bring back the 8th slot, then it's useful then. Doesn't matter then either because you still are 20 out of 20, mostly geared without needing this. So, it's good if you need the extra S. If they bring back the 8th slot, you can use that. But outside of that, if you're running a Bandak, it's not really of use. So too little too late on this one. It's a little sad, but it is what it is. But preset skill enhancements are coming back and the drop rates apparently are going to be adjusted for the preset skill item protections and the preset skill enhanced success rates to be higher. In addition, you can pick up, of course, these, the usual things, right, from the scratch count bonus. So pretty cool there. It's SG support, doesn't really matter all that much. They're also bringing a multi remix line scratch, where they're basically remixing a bunch of eyes, hair accessories, and body paints. This is really cool. This isn't the really like crazy thing from this. In the scratch count bonus, there is Magis Gladiosol S. So if you're someone who was needing more S augments and you need to go ahead and plan to go ahead and scratch this time around, feel free. This is gonna be something you will actually use towards a band deck if you need to go ahead and fit that role. If you don't, totally fine. A band deck can be done completely free to play for the most part nowadays. You don't have to worry about all of these S's. But if you're someone who does want to go ahead and get that done, this is going to be useful. Go ahead and pick that up. This is a scratch that you can go ahead and invest in. But save your money. You don't have to spend on scratches. All right, moving ahead, we move on to the next sets. This is in the second half. The second half, they show off again more relay quest stuff. They show you different bosses, board racing things, individual bosses, running courses, stuff like that. I mentioned there's going to be an update to the seasonal lineup in the shop. That's pretty standard when it comes to seasonal events. We have the Divine Darkness AC Scratch. So Divine Darkness is here for us. We have weapon camo, glide, nothing really too crazy here. If you like the way this looks, cool. If you don't have to worry about it. Nothing really was standing out from this. They're bringing back Halfa Testing Zone again for the third time. This one's going to change again. Apparently they've made it easier to dodge the lasers, because apparently that was a problem for some people. I'm not sure how, but if you manage to dodge them, now that they're easier, you get a buff. So cool. Love to see it. We'll have to see what the rewards are from it. Likely going to be stuff that you can just push yourself up. I mean, it's LTQ stuff, so it is what it is. There is another AC scratch. This one's just a voice AC scratch, so nothing too crazy here. If you're someone who likes the whole voices thing, this is a bunch of English voices. Super, super cool. Love to see it. Don't really care too much about it personally, but I think of Notable was in here. So if that's something that you are a fan of, that you want to invest into, by all means, feel free. And that was it for all the hot information. They moved into the operation report and they talked about relay quests and how they wanted something that was going to change every 2 days, something that's going to change more often. Of course, there are going to be title rewards and actually like things like that from these. That's pretty standard, limited time tasks and all that stuff. They talked about this like it wasn't going to go away, but it's limited time, right? So I'm not sure how long it's going to stick around. If it's going to be like limited time because the quests are every 2 days, they're going to be changing limited time. They're going to cycle. They really didn't specify this one. So I'm going to err on the side of this is going to disappear eventually. They just never really mentioned when or how. So there's also the possibility this could just be limited time because it's every 2 days is going to be changing. So keep that in mind. We'll have to see. Moving past that, they then had a video for us. I'd recommend watching this on your own, but they have a video, and this is what mostly saved the actual headline for me personally. They are doing Lucille exploration, but different. And let me kind of explain how that works out. So Lucille exploration, from what we can see, you can kind of see the UI here. A couple of things. First off, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rooms in a row. So you're not like picking rooms like you did before. As you complete the rooms, it looks like you pick your buff that you want. The rooms are different. They have like side missions and they have main missions, I guess. There's a point value here. I'm not sure what this is supposed to be for, like levels of stuff or whatever. But then there's bosses in each individual room as well as at the end, right? So here's the thing. This feels really, really reminiscent of Divide. I know you guys are thinking, oh, Grandpa's talking about Divide again. Yes, because it's my favorite quest type. I'm going to talk about it all the time. It feels very reminiscent of it, but from a different perspective. They're taking the Lucille concept and they're making it so you can kind of build up what you want. So you pick your own buffs as you go along, which could be really interesting. My only concern is that, again, they like to do things on a daily rotation, meaning that if this is a linear path with one set of rooms you're going to have on a daily rotation, it's going to get very boring very quickly. But if these rooms change every single run, it could be interesting. We also need to have more variants for the buffs that we have. They seem pretty basic to start out with. You had like damage buffs, you had HP buffs, you had attack speed buffs and things of that sort, which are dope. I like to see that. And of course, like PB buffs and things like that. So we'll have to see how that works out, but it's going to depend on what they decide to do with this. This is the framework for something that could be really good, but it also could be kind of boring. We'll have to see. I don't think they're going to do like a reset at every single run. I think it's going to be on a daily reset, which is going to make it boring. But there's always the chance, right? And we'll have to see. They're experimenting with things, right? They have something that resets every 2 days. Maybe they'll change the cycle down, like, yeah, every half hour or like, you know, something like that. We'll have to see how it works out. But yeah, this pretty much saved the headline for me. Before this came around, it was an aggressive 5 out of 10. This pushes it up for me, but again, I don't really contribute to this because this is supposed to be for April. There's like a sneak peek at it, so we'll have to see what's going on. Then we had the questions. Multi-weapons can now be crafted using items from different series, but I can't tell if these sold in the personal shop were made by using a multi-weapon substitute. Could items be named display? Okay, so this question here is completely pointless. And the reason why it's pointless is because it doesn't matter if you use a weapon from a different series, as long as it can be used for the multi-weapon, because it's treated like the base weapon. So it doesn't make a difference if it was a multi-weapon that was used from a different series, or if it was used from the freaking substitute, right? Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the slightest. It's so lame. Why I don't know who's asking for this. Recently, there have been notable instances of players who don't use Mars being stronger than those who do. Are there any plans to strengthen Mars? First off, this might be a skill issue. That's number one. Some players just might be bad at using Mars. However, yes, TLDR, they're going to go ahead and balance Mars to make sure that it's always a little bit stronger than a player that's not using Mars. That way there's incentive to use it, but it's not so strong that you feel like you're pigeonholed into the playstyle itself. Mostly because people complain about having to use Mars. So for those guys who don't want to use Mars, the Mars haters out there, feel free to not use Mars. It's up to you. However, it's going to be stronger. They're going to be balancing it. They're keeping an eye on it, so on and so forth. Region mags rarely ever activate because of blah, blah, blah. Basically, region mags are too hard to activate because you need a lot of people to do it. They're making it easier. They're reducing the cost. This only really matters, honestly, for people who are doing solo content, like the solo challenges and stuff like that. That's really about it. Everything else doesn't really matter all that much. That's it for the questions. Then we got some merch. Merch is pretty dope. Headline shows off merch. I like merch. Some pretty cool hoodies, some pretty cool shirts. You love to see it. We have the 5th anniversary campaign. Got some Endmaster cubes, experience earned, rare drop rate earned. The Sigma Physio camo will be for every weapon but Harmonizer because we know SEGA loves to do it. We also have 100% rare drop rate. We love to see that. Pretty dope. Treasure Scratch coming back around from the 5th to the 19th or 18th. And the reward box coming around from the 19th to the 1st. So we'll have to see how that works out. This is something we've seen beforehand. We've seen the reward box, probably going to be the exact same. Treasure Scratch going to have the Big Bang tickets in it, so we want to get as many of those as we can. So hopefully your luck is pretty good. Razor Gold is going to be popping up for NGS on more sites. I'm sorry, on more countries. Pretty solid to buy your SG from or your AC from here if you're going to be buying AC at all. Get a little bit extra along with it. Nijisanji collab popping up. This is going to be the 3rd collaboration. I know there's some people who have mixed feelings about Nijisanji and how the whole EN side of things were taken. I'm just going to go ahead and be very blunt about this. One, we have no idea what any of the deals are in the background for the whole collaborations and so on and so forth. That's usually the case when it comes to these collaborations. And by all means, I totally understand people that are like, yo, I'm not a fan. I'm screw Niji or whatever it happens to be, man. Don't shoot yourselves in the foot. Buying this scratch, you're not directly supporting Ninja, okay? Just don't do it. That's not how these scratches work. You're not directly supporting them by buying the scratch. If you see something you like on there, you can get it. It's fine. Or you can just ignore it. That's okay too. But leave people alone who decide that they want to do it. It is what it is. Boo v Shoujo collab. True. Honestly, agreed. Also, type 1, we can see the outfit. This is the only type 1 outfit. Everything else is type 2. You'll love to see it. That's really the boo that goes here. The headline ended. But as you can see, there's a lot more to here. So Hiro announced that he will be stepping down. So Hiro is stepping down from running the headline. There is a code. Thank you, Hiro Arai. Make sure to say it in game. You get card scratch vouchers as well as a Captain Rappy. To be perfectly honest, the only thing I'm concerned about is the Rappy Kamu Twitter account. I'm not sure if that's still going to be run, but it will be taken over by Yui. Yui Hasegawa is going to be taking over, and they're basically doing a new show, Headline Wave. Now, we don't know if that's a good thing or if it's not so good thing. It could just be a small thing that's changing. They could be rebranding it because, you know, the era of Hiro has ended and now we're on to Yui. It could be a whole lot more going on with it. We don't know 100%. So we'll have to see in March how things go. We wish Hiro good luck. He has been with us for 43 headlines, I believe. So super awesome. Great dude. We'll probably do a Hiro outfit when we get back into playing some more PSO2 as a proper send-off. But don't forget the keyword. I'll make sure to include it in the video description. And they have a whole video here of this. I recommend going through the headline yourselves and watching it. It's actually really, really cool. But don't forget the keyword. Thank you, Hiro. Yeah, he soldiered through when the game was when there wasn't a whole lot to announce. And I can't say that this is the best headline to go out on, but I am kind of hopeful for April with this new quest type. It does have some promise, but like everything else, like I've always said, we'll wait until it releases to see if it's actually going to be good. Relay looks interesting, but I'm less excited for that. This I'm a little bit more excited for. I'm really interested to see what this is going to be. That's pretty much it. that's everything when it comes down to everything you know for the headline. This video should go live pretty quickly, so hopefully you guys will be able to see that. I highly recommend, of course, reading the headline yourselves. But if all you care about is the information, that's all you need to know. As always, like if you enjoyed the video. Tell me you want to keep up with more. Thank you to the channel members. You guys are fantastic. I appreciate every single one of you. I'll see all you wonderful individuals in the next video. Take care, my friends. Peace out.